Granny's, Abner. I believe that's our ring.
I dog his Lum. I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, jot'em down store. This is Lum and Abner.
And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, Lum's plans to have a quiet little supper with Miss Frederick, the new schoolteacher in Pine Ridge, the other night, were ruined when Abner and Grandpappy Spears, thinking it was Lum's birthday, got up a big stag dinner for him. Since then, relations between the two old partners have been a bit strained. As we look in on the little community today, we find Abner in the Jot-'em Down store still trying to patch up things with Lum. Listen.
Well, Lum, I've told you 1,000 times I'm sorry. I don't know what more I can say about it.
Well, let it go. It's done over now.
Well, if you want my opinions of it, I thought it sort of nice of us to give you a surprise on your birthday that-a-way.
I told you it wasn't my birthday, Abner. I never was so embarrassed in my life when I walked in that restaurant with Miss Frederick and all you fellers jumped up and started singing happy birthday to you and hollering surprise, surprise, and that stuff.
Well, it was a surprise, wasn't it? Miss Frederick looked awful surprised, I'll say that.
Well, that weren't surprise on her face. That was embarrassment. While she never said nothing, I know she must have been awful embarrassed, all them men down there and her the only woman there.
Yeah.
And I know she figured I'd put you up to it, too. Granny's, I doubt if I ever get her to go out with me again.
Oh, well, now, I wouldn't feel that way about it. She'll get over it.
And as I planned all day how I could get to be alone with her so we could sit there and have supper by ourselves, even had Luke Spears stay open an hour late so as I'd be sure there weren't nobody else there.
Well, you can take her over some other time. Luke will stay open late any night you tell him to do it. What's wrong with tonight? Take her over there tonight.
It's a school night tonight. She don't go out during the week teaching school that way.
Oh, yeah, that's right, ain't it? Well, why didn't you take her over there Saturday night or Sunday?
Well, she always goes to the county seat on Saturday.
County seat?
Yeah, studies there at the library. And Sunday, that dad-blame Frank Foster had a date with her to go Kodaking.
Well, what's a school teacher doing studying at the library?
She's studying for her M.A., she says.
Her M.A.?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you let her more study for herself?
Her M.A., I said.
But you don't have to spell things out to me, Lum.
I ain't spelling things out to you. That's what they call it.
I've heard of mamas helping children with their lessons, but I never heard of a young'un helping her mama before.
Yeah, that M.A. means some kind of a degree you get for graduating from college.
Well, now, be honest, Lum. Don't you think her mama's a little old to be going to college? Here she is sitting in a class with a bunch of young'uns, and her own daughter's teaching school. Doggy, that's funny.
I'm trying to explain to you
I reckon why she wants to go to school at her age, Lum.
Will you hush up for a minute and give me a chance to explain this to you?
Go ahead.
Studying for a M.A. means studying for a degree. You see...
You mean a degree like you get over at the lodge?
No.
She might as well give that up right now, Lum. I don't care how many colleges she graduates from. They'll never take her into the lodge. They don't take women in the lodge, and you know her.
Of course I know it. This ain't got nothing to do with her mama. It's Miss Fredericks herself, and she
Well, they won't take her in neither. They won't take her, and they won't take her mama. You might as well tell her before they go any further.
Abner, they don't want to get in the lodge.
Well, they can't take one of them lodge degrees without joining. That's secret stuff, there, Lum. We got rules in that lodge that says no women...
I know the rules of the lodge.
Well, reckon how long it'll take her mama to graduate.
For goodness sakes. Haven't you got that straight yet? Let's just forget about her mama.
Forget about her? Oh, well, you can't do that, Lum. Why, she's going to be your mother-in-law. You want to get on the good side of her. That's a thing for you to do at the first time you see her. Just tell her that you think an awful lot of her. You don't want to leave that poor old woman sitting in there at the library all by herself. More likely don't know a soul in there. Just too bad we ain't got a library out here at Pine Ridge, and Then Miss Frederick could bring her mama right out here.
Abner, I told you we ain't talking about her. Granny, wait a minute. Maybe you got an idea there.
Why, of course I have. Her mama could room right over her sister Skimp.
I don't mean that. I mean about having a library here in Pine Ridge. That'd keep Miss Frederick from going in there to the county seat with Frank Foster every Saturday. Granny's, we could do it, too. Get a bunch of books and get a long table with a green lamp on it and some chairs around it, and Miss Frederick could sit right there at the table. We could do it, I tell you, Abner.
I Doggett, that's a good idea. I'll tell you what I'll do. Just to make up for the other night, I'll get Elizabeth to do the cooking for you.
Cooking?
Yeah. Ain't that what you want the table for? So you and Miss Frederick can have a nice, quiet supper with just her mama alone?
Of course not. I just want the
well,
table
now,
to read
it won't
on.
be no trouble for Elizabeth, Lum. I know she'd be tickled to death to do it for you.
Well, that's mighty nice of her. I appreciate it, but
I'll just call her up right
Abner,
now.
sit back down there. Now, leave that telephone alone.
Huh?
Let me talk to you a minute. I want to get this straight in your head.
Oh,
once
yeah.
and for-
I better find out what you want to eat first. I tell you, Lum, you ought to get Elizabeth to cook one of them chocolate pies of hers.
I don't want no chocolate pie. All
Well,
I
here,
want
wait a
is-
minute. Don't say a word. Let me get a pencil and paper now, and I'll set this stuff down so that I won't forget it. No chocolate pie. Put that for her.
Abner, we just want to
Well,
study. That's
all right now. There ain't no hurry. You just go right ahead and study about it as long as you want to, Lum. When you make up your mind what you want, why, just let me know and I'll set it down here. Another thing, Lum, Elizabeth fries chicken awful good. I believe Miss Frederick would like that.
I'll be dead blamed. You get something in your head and a body couldn't jar it out with a stick of dynamite. What do you think I'm getting all them books in the store here for?
I don't know. Let's see. I'll tell you what you could do with them, old Lum. You could put in a library. We ain't got none here in Pine Ridge.
A library?
Yes, sir.
What do you think I've been talking about all this time?
Well, I don't know, but I believe that library idea's a good one, even if I did think of it.
Well, I'll swan too good.
See, another thing, Lum. That way, why, Miss Frederick wouldn't have to run into the county seat every Saturday, and she wouldn't get to be a Frank Foster.
That's just exactly what I've been talking about all this time.
What you been? Oh, why, I know you weren't, Lum. You was talking about getting Elizabeth down here to cook up a batch of victuals for you and Miss Frederick. Don't you recollect?
Let it go, let it go. We can put in a free public library right here in the store.
Why, sure we can.
Get a bunch of books and take all them canned goods out of the shelves on the first side there and put the books right in there and pass out some cards. Get everybody in town to bring all the books they got at home they ain't using.
Oh, it'd be the finest thing in the world. You know, there's a lot of these children around here. Their folks ain't got the money to buy books for them, and they could just come down here and read all them books for nothing.
Oh,
Yes,
it'd be
sir.
the finest thing at all, and get some signs around that says silence, please. You gotta have them in the library.
You do, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right, doggies, we'll get some in. Make it a first class, and that's what I want to have.
This'll make a good impression on Miss Fredericks, too. She'll see that I'm interested in reading books and getting better educated and all that stuff.
Why, sure she will. I knowed you'd see it my way.
Granny, she'll be over here at the store all the time then.
Yeah.
I can help her find the books she wants and sit here and talk to her and stuff like that and put her books back in the shelves for her again she gets done reading them and all.
Yeah.
I don't want her lifting them big, heavy books.
No.
Granny, I'll show that Frank Foster a thing or two. Pine Ridge Public Library. L. Eddard's Librarian, or whatever they call them. And I ain't going to give Frank Foster no card, neither, to the library.
Well, are you going to be the president of the library?
I don't know. I reckon so. I hadn't known much about it.
Well, now, wait a minute here. I helped to think up this idea. Doggers, looks like I ought to get to be something here.
Well, you can keep the books straight and stuff like that.
Oh, well, good for me.
Fact is, I might let you look after it during the week, and I'll look after it on Saturdays and Sundays.
You mean when Miss Fredericks is here?
Well, I reckon it does work out that way. Just coincidence, I reckon.
And then I'll stay here during the week while her mama's here, huh?
Her mama? For goodness sakes, can't you get that out of your mind, Abner?
Well, I thought that's what the library was for, to help her mama study.
If you mention that word again, I'm going to whop you right on top of the head. I said Miss Frederick was studying for her M.A.
Well, quit spelling it out, Lum. Nobody ain't going to hear us talking about about it. I ain't going to tell nobody her mama's so ignorant she still has to go to school if that's what you're feared of.
Abner, you're talking about a different thing entirely.
Well, I don't see what the difference is. But if we're going to put in this library, there's just one thing I hope.
What's that?
Well, if I'm going to stay here all week with her by myself, I hope her M.A. knows how to play checkers.
Grannies, I give up. I don't know what else to tell you.
Can't you think of nothing?
Think of nothing.
Yeah, if you call it out, I'll set it down here. Got a pencil right here.
Set what down?
What you and Miss Frederick want Elizabeth to cook for your supper. All I got down here is fried chicken and no chocolate pie.
Grannies, that settles it. That settles it right there.
Wait a minute, where are you going, Long?
I don't know where I'm going now, but I know if I stay here, I'll go plumb stark raving mad crazy.